Hi, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome into Feel Good Friday, my friends. How's everybody doing? Hello to everybody on YouTube. Hi, Danielle. Oh, my goodness. Hi, Mary. Hi, Norma. Hi, Anita. Evelyn, Jennifer. Colleen is here. Judy's here. Hello. Hi, Maria. How are you guys doing? Oh, my gosh. It is a very, I don't want to say stressful, though I am kind of stressed, I'm not gonna lie. What is behind me? What am I seeing? Oh, that's that chair. Like what is this weird stuff I see over in the corner? Anyway, I'm sorry, I got distracted. Ooh, shiny. Right? So it's kind of it's an eventful day for me, and I gotta tell you, I'm a little nervous. I don't really get nervous. That's the thing that's kind of weird. But my stomach's been doing flip flops all morning. Um, and I'll go ahead and tell you guys why. A lot of you already know, but I'm just going to do a little self promotion here before we get started with the Feel Good Friday show. So today is the big show for Master Maker. My Master Maker show over on JTV Extra. It's still at its regular time. It's at 4 p.m. Eastern time. However, I will be streaming Master Maker to Bead Fest in Wisconsin. And there will be a live audience. There's going to be probably some little technical challenges. That's the part I think I'm the most nervous about. Like, I can do the show, no problem. It's the technical parts of it that kind of stress me out because it's a little bit different. I'm going to have, there will be a live audience there, and I think I will be able to interact with the live audience. So I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried. Like, I know I'm going to do okay, but like the technical stuff really stresses me out. So my stomach has been in knots all morning. And not only that, and I think maybe this might have another reason why my stomach is in knots, but we also have family coming in. So Q's mom and brother and brother's best friend are coming to stay with us because it's a long holiday weekend. And they're going to be here. They'll probably get here right in the middle of my show. I'm also having a pool put up, and my yard is an absolute disaster. Like, so to say that I'm kind of like, I'm stretched kind of thin and I'm a little anxious, I think would be an understatement. So, y'all, send me some good vibes, okay? It's not that I need good vibes. I need calming vibes. I need some calming vibes. So just send me your calming energy, would you please, if you don't mind? So yeah, just a reminder, 4 p.m. Master Maker over on JTV Extra. My team, of course, will be dropping links, so it'll be easy for you guys to find. Like always, it's going to be a fun one. Okay, so let's talk about our things going on here, right now. So right here, right now, guys, it is Feel Good Friday, which is my very favorite day of the week. This one just happens to be high stress. But Feel Good Friday is my favorite day of the week, where I put together easy instant gratification jewelry for you that you can very easily put together yourself because I put it in kit form and put it over in my Etsy shop. Right? It's available for you to purchase. Those listings go live right before the show so that you can grab those. We've got some early bird shoppers who always check out before the show starts, which is pretty exciting. But those are all available for you to purchase over in my Etsy shop. So everything you see in this Feel Good Friday show is available, at least until it sells out. And that's been happening a lot lately. I've been on a roll. So fingers crossed, we keep the good vibes going with that, right? So one of the things that we do before we get started with all of the listings, or all of the projects rather, is we do a maker mix. And the maker mixes are small batches of beady goodness. There are things that I don't have enough of to put together a kit with, but still beady goodness that I want to share with you. So we put those together in maker mixes. So that'll be the first thing that I show you. And then we're going to get right into it. I've got a necklace. I've got three bracelets, and several pairs of earrings. I've got lava beads in the show. I've got serpentine in the show. Like, it's a really pretty mix of things today. So stick around. You don't want to miss out on any of that. But before we do that, I do want to mention, guys, that Hardwired is open for enrollment. So for those of you who don't know about Hardwired is my paid Facebook group that we do projects that are a little bit harder than what we do here in just a regular community. We focus very heavily on wire weaving and wire working, but we do throw in some other things occasionally, and it's a really cool little mix, right? We do a lot of things that would be considered upper level beginner to intermediate, but I try to break it down in a way that makes it accessible to everybody in little bite-sized pieces that are very easy to digest. So if you are looking to up your skills, please come and be a member of our Hardwired group. You can pay monthly or you can pay quarterly, and we have a whole lot of fun. We get together twice a week. We do a weekly project, and then we do some sort of bonus. And we just have a whole lot of fun. We do a really cool competition, the Chopped Challenge, and it's a really fun place to be. So if you are interested, we are only open for enrollment once a month. That falls at the end of the month and the beginning of the next month. And then we shut down and are just a closed group until the next go round. And that just happens to be right now. So if you want to come and join us, please do. We've got a lot of fun things going on over in Hardwired, and we would love to have you. Okay, so without further ado, let us get started with why we are actually here. And that is for the Maker Mix and the wonderful projects for our Feel Good Friday show. So I'm going to get you guys turned around. Okay, let's get started. All right. So our Maker Mix for this week is a pretty one. I'm kind of excited about this one. This one is Summer Festival Maker Mix, and it's got lots of gorgeous agate beads in here. There's check glass. There is a mother of pearl shell bead in here, check glass rounds, some rondelles. The agate, I think, is my favorite. There are some rubber coated glass beads that are in here. It's just a really pretty, very vibrant mix. So that is our Maker Mix for the week. If you love all those bright pops of colors, this is a really super cool one. All right, now I'm going to sit this over to the side, and we are going to go ahead and get started. So I told you we've got lots of lava beads in today's show. I've got a lava bead necklace for you guys. Now, for those of you who are just finding out about Feel Good Friday shows, a lot of times I will do an abbreviated version of the project because there are so many projects that I try to put into the hour. So just keep that in mind as we are going forward, because a lot of these things, some of the wire wrapping and things like that, I do in advance, right? Okay, so I have two pieces of chain here. I'm not really sure why. Hold on, let me get everything together. All right, so I have some more of these absolutely gorgeous metallic electroplated lava beads, right? I've done two previous kits with these. They were both bracelet projects. We did an earrings project with them. Today, I've got a necklace project and another earrings project for you because I still had plenty of these lava beads left over. This will be probably the last run of these metallic lava beads, though, because what's left over is just for me. But the rest of the shareable bit I have for you guys, I'm going to mix these together. These are going to be our necklace here. I'm going to mix these together with some more beautiful metallics. I have these beautiful metallic roses that are in that same kind of rainbow metallic as well. We're going to make little drops out of those by putting those onto head pins and adding some metallic rondelles. So this is all about the metallics, just really, really beautiful. And we're going to space all of this out. So essentially, this is just a stringing project. We are doing some wire wrapped loops that we'll do together really quickly before we start to put all of this together. But this is where we're going with this. And then the length of this is going to be some chain. Okay, so let's start out by doing our little drop first. So I've done 4 of them. We're going to do this last one together. And all we're going to do is we're just going to take one of these beautiful roses. We're going to drop it down onto a head pin. We're going to thread on a rondelle. And then an even smaller little baby rondelle. Now don't lose these because they're super tiny. But we got a little baby rondelle as well. Okay, and now we're just going to do a wrapped loop. Now you can always do a simple loop if you want to. I know a lot of you prefer the wrapped loop though. So I'm going to come in with my chain nose pliers. I'm grabbing the wire right where it is exiting the bead, and I'm going to give it a bend. I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers and grab that wire. We're going to take the wire up and over the top barrel of the pliers and then rotate those in our hands so that we can take the wire over to the other side to close up our loop. And then we are going to wire wrap in that space. Now be careful, because that top little rondelle is it's pretty tiny. You don't want to push it and do an extra wrap and risk cracking that bead. So just be really, really careful. Don't push it. Don't do more wraps than you have space for. Okay. And then we're going to come in with our cutter tool and we're going to trim off the excess. Again, being very, very careful not to accidentally crack the top of the bead. My cutter tool I need to sharpen it or have a new one. Get a new one for sure. All right. So we're going to do that with each one of our roses. So you're going to have 5 of those, and you've got 6 of the electroplated, lava beads. And let me fish out here my crimps and my wire guardians, and we are going to string this up with some of these beautiful metallics in between here. Okay. All right. So we're going to take our bead stringing wire, and we are going to thread on our crimp and then our wire guardian. So we're going to take that bead stringing wire. Hi, Katie. We're going to take the bead stringing wire up and then back down through our wire guardian and then back down through our crimp. And you want to be sure that your bead stringing wires are not crisscrossing inside there. Okay. So once you get that thread back through your crimp, I usually separate them out with my fingers just to make sure that they're not crisscrossing. And I'm going to place this into the back notch of my crimper tool, give that a squeeze. I'm going to turn it sideways, put it into the front notch of the crimper tool and give that a squeeze. That's going to make that crimp a little bit more compact. I'm going to come in with my cutter and I'm going to trim off the excess. And then we are going to string up this beautiful necklace. All right, so to do that, I'm going to pull up the picture because I want to be sure I get the right amount of the little rondelles. All right, so we're going to pick up 4 of the very small, the smallest ones, the rondelles. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now I'm going to pick up 2 of the larger rondelles. 1 and 2. All right, now we're going to start with our lava beads. So we're going to thread on a lava bead. Okay, we're going to do one of the baby rondelles. We're going to do a larger rondelle, a baby rondelle, and a drop. Whoops. You want to thread on the jump ring. I forgot to put the jump ring on this one. We'll do that here in just a second. But each one of those drops is going to get a jump ring. I was so excited to put this together. Forgot about the jump ring, right? Another rondelle, and then the baby rondelle, and another lava bead. Now I'm going to show it to you because I know I've got all these beads in my hand, so it's kind of hard for you to see them. But I'm going to show you the how and the why. Okay, because this is the pattern going forward. So this is just the end of our neck. Sorry, you guys, my internet connection went out for just a second. Hopefully that won't happen again. Okay. So there are the beads that we started with, our lava beads. Now the pattern in between the lava beads is the baby rondelle, the larger, the baby, the larger, and the baby. And that baby rondelle in the middle of the 2 larger rondelles is where you are going to thread on your drop. Reason being so that that baby rondelle, number 1, gives you a little pop of color, but it protects your bead stringing wire from that jump ring, right? Your jump ring should not be touching the bead stringing wire at all. It should just be kind of hanging over the top of that rondelle. The reason for that, of course, is to keep down the abrasion that happens between the metal and the surface of your bead stringing wire. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, so next up, just repeating our pattern. Let me move my beads over here to this side so I don't have to keep reaching across, you guys. All right, so a baby rondelle, the larger, no fighting dogs, that's enough. We're grumbling at each other. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. A smaller one, your drop, a larger, and a smaller. Okay, and then another one of the lava beads. Okay, so that's the next one. All right, now, same thing. The baby rondelle, the larger, the baby. Albert, that's enough. Our drop. A larger rondelle. And the baby drop, or the baby, not the baby drop, the baby rondelle, and our next lava bead. Okay. So we've got 3 of those. Look how pretty that is. Oh, those colors. I'm kind of sad to see me reach the end of the lava beads with this electroplating on it, because they're some of my favorite beads that I've gotten in a very long time. The other bead that I love recently is the metallic Z beads that we had last week. Excuse me. They were absolutely beautiful too. These metallic finishes are really, really popular right now. So I was very happy and fortunate to get my hands on some of them. I just hope that I can find some more, because I'm really, really in love with this whole metallic thing that's going on. Normally it's something that you see more in the fall and the winter, but for whatever reason, this happens to be falling in the spring and summer season of fashion and jewelry. And I'm not mad about it. I love it. I love everything about it. You know, it's that it's shiny, it's shimmery, it sparkles. It's got all kinds of color shifts to it. It's just beautiful. So I know a lot of you are feeling the same way, because these kits tend to sell out pretty quickly. Okay, we're coming up here to my last drop that we actually need to go ahead and put the jump ring on. So let's do that. Go ahead and take our jump ring, twist, and we're going to thread our wrapped loop that we created together onto that, and we're going to close that back. Okay, and then we're just going to finish stringing this up. Now, included in your kit is a long piece of chain that you can use to adjust your necklace length to make it as long or as short as you want it to be. However, just like with all of my kits, you can personalize this however you want to. So if you wanted to just keep the chain for yourself and use it in something else, some other project, and bead up the rest of the length of this, you absolutely could. Or you could instead do, you know, some, I feel like, how do I have extras? Hold on. What's happening here? How did I end up with extra beads? If you wanted to, though, you could absolutely switch the chain out for some really beautiful leather or cotton cord. Macrame would look really cool with it. So you got a lot of options for the length of this, right? All right, so all of that is ready to go. We're going to crimp. And I see there is a question here, and the question says, can you put essential oil on them like the uncoated lava beads? So personally, I'm going to say no, just because some of that electroplating, I don't know what the electroplating is made out of. I don't know. I don't really know how it would react with the essential oils. I also know that the electroplating kind of covers up a lot of the holes. Like, you can still see all of that good texture, but you can also see like some of the holes are covered completely with that electroplating. So I don't know that I would put essential oils on this one. However, I have more lava beads in the show that are not electroplated. So if you're looking for something that you can add your essential oils to, I've got you covered. I just don't know that I would add it to these metallics. All right, so we've gone up through our wire guardian, back down through the wire guardian, and we're going to crimp again. So I'm going to place this into the back notch of the crimper tool, give it a squeeze, turn it sideways, give it another squeeze, and then we're going to trim off the excess. And then again, for the length of this, just for mine and in your kit, we've got chain, but you can add anything you want to the length. If you don't want to make it the chain, I kind of prefer the chain. That's just me, but it would look beautiful with any colored cord. I think would be gorgeous with this. And that's it. That is our necklace project with those gorgeous, gorgeous lava beads and the roses. Like, I love them so much. I hope you guys love this necklace too. It was last report from Nicole was that it was in very low stock. So I definitely think this one will sell out pretty quickly, but so pretty. All right, so if you love this and you want a pair of earrings to go with this, I've got a cute little pair of earrings. It's easy peasy to put together. I'm going to show you right now a little wire wrapping, if you will. So I have these little earrings and some really beautiful teal green colored artistic wire to wire wrap. We've got some of those shell coated pearls and some check glass fire polished rounds. Okay, so let's put these together really quickly. Let's do our drop first. So our drop is a head pin with one of our check glass little rounds. It's got that beautiful vitriol color to it. All right, so we're just going to come in, start our wrapped loop, coming in with our round nose pliers, going up and over, rotate, take the pliers over to the other side, and then we're going to wire wrap in that space. You're going to come in with your cutter tool and trim off. Okay. All right, now we're going to put together the earring. So we're going to start out with our piece of artistic wire here. Okay, and we're going to come down on the wire about 1 inch, and we're going to give it a bend. We're going to create a wrapped loop. So I'm coming in with my round nose pliers, taking the wire up and over, rotate, take the wire over to the other side. Now, before you do your wire wraps, your little drop, you want to attach that to that loop. Okay, just like that. And then you want to come in with your pliers. I'm using my bent chain nose pliers here. And I'm going to wire wrap probably 3 times. And then I'm going to come in with my cutter and trim off the excess of that. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to thread on my lava bead. I'm going to thread on my pearl and my other little baby check glass, and I'm going to drop those down. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to do another wrapped loop, and then we're going to use the rest of our wire to kind of wrap around our beads. Okay. So coming in, bend the wire over the top of your pliers. Okay. Up and over, rotate, take the wire over to the other side. Whoopsie, let go of everything. Okay, and we're going to wire wrap. All right, then we're going to take the wire, just because it's so pretty, and we're going to wrap it diagonally across the surface of the bead, between the 2 beads, diagonally across the surface of the bead, around the 2 beads, and then down diagonally the surface of the lava bead, and down here to our wraps. And then I'm just going to wrap around those wraps. Just a couple times to secure everything, and then I'm going to come in with my cutter and trim off. Okay. And then the last thing to do is just to add your ear wire. These are super cute, really beautiful. I love that colored artistic wire with those lava beads. I think they were just made for each other because it really brings out the beautiful greens and blues that are in those lava beads. Really pretty. So these definitely go with a necklace, or you can just get them individually, right? You don't have to, but I think they make a cute little set for sure. And I do want to mention this is probably the last round of these metallic lava beads, so you probably want to grab them up. It looks like the necklace is sold out. There's still some of the earrings left, I believe, though. So thank you, everybody, for your purchases for sure. All right, I'm going to sit this over here to the side, and we are going to move on to the next. So if you still want lava beads, I've got lava beads for you. These you 100% can add your essential oils to. They do have a painted surface to them because they're in color. However, I have found that they still work. So the it's not just the plain black ones. These have the colors. You can still, they're still able to take the oil is what I'm trying to say. Sorry. That was a really long way of saying what I was trying to say. All right. So I've got a cool little necklace for you. And then these also have some earrings to match. So, or a bracelet rather. So this one is mostly this really cool leather. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a loop. Okay. At the end of our leather piece by taking our leather and folding it over. Okay, and we're going to do an overhanded knot with that loop. And what we're looking for, at least on one side of this, you may need to use your pliers to pull that through, is we want to make a loop that is big enough to accommodate our button, because that's going to be the clasp for this. So you just want to kind of double check, make sure your loop is big enough for that button, and then cinch that down. Okay. And I'm going to double check just one more time. And then I'm going to come and I'm going to trim off just a little bit of this. Now you don't have to, you can leave it if you want to, but I am going to trim a little bit of that off. And then I'm going to thread on my beads. And they will all fit onto this cord because they have a nice large hole. So you can thread these on any pattern that you want to, but I'm going to do kind of a gradient here, where I'm doing my blues going into my greens. And then I think I'm going to do my pinks and put my yellow at the end just because it's nice and bright. Actually, yeah, let's do our purple. So you really can put these on however you want to. I'm not really going with the official rainbow or anything like that. I'm just kind of grouping my cool tones and getting warmer here on the other end. Oh, wait, we forgot a really special element to this. Hold on. It's a good thing that this strings up really quickly. I have these beautiful little sunflower beads. I completely forgot. I want to put a sunflower on either end. Now, if you're making a unisex bracelet, if you want to, you can leave the flowers off and use them for something else. But I did want to incorporate a little metal element to this as well. You also can put those little flower beads in between your lava beads if you want to. You don't have to put them on the ends. Totally up to you. Okay. Thread all of those on just like so. And then we're going to do another loop like we did on this end. So we're just going to take our cord, fold it over. Now this one's a little bit more tricky because we do have to kind of pull it down. But you want to get it as close to your little flower bead as you can get it, right? Pull that down. Okay. And I like for my loops to be the same size. One's a little bit bigger than the other one. That's okay. You really, once it's all put together, you really don't even notice it. I'm going to go ahead and trim. on this side as well. So that's half of my bracelet. I may actually use the larger loop for my button on this side. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to attach our chain. We've got some really cool paper clip chain for the rest of this. And oh my gosh, thank you so much, Carmen. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to take our jump ring, open our jump ring. We're going to thread that onto the shank on the back of our button. And then we're going to attach this to our chain. We're going to close that back. Now that's going to attach here, right? The other end of this, now if you need to adjust the length of this, you can take out one of the links of the chain. Now I didn't include another jump ring here because I'm actually going to open up the link of this chain. However, if you don't want to do that, you can add an extra jump ring here, or you can, when you're tying your overhanded knot here with your loop, you can go ahead and loop in your chain piece if you want to. But I'm very gently going to open my chain link just enough to be able to slip that leather loop in, and then I'm going to close that back. And you want to be sure that you get that closed back really, really well. All right, so you're just going to wiggle it just like a jump ring. And there's your bracelet. Super easy peasy, but really, really cute. And again, you can add your essential oils to these for sure. Now, super cute, summertime appropriate bracelet. If you want some earrings that go with this, I've got some super cute little earrings to go with this as well in 2 different color patterns or palettes, just because otherwise it made really, really long earrings. So I have the earrings in the pink, purple, and the yellow, right? If you're into the more kind of warmer side of the bracelet. And then I also have them in the blues and the greens, if you like kind of the cooler side of the bracelet, or maybe you need them both, right? I don't judge. I don't judge, right? So just some really easy little earrings. We're going to put these together really quickly. We're going to start out with our head pin. We are going to thread on our metal bead, right? And we're going to come in, bend the wire, and we're going to do a wrapped loop. Right, we're going up and over, rotate, take the wire over to the other side, and we're going to wire wrap. So I want to mention, because I keep seeing this in the comments. So listen, I wish you all had been with me yesterday so that you could have felt my frustration with Etsy. Yesterday, Etsy shut down one of their seller apps that I was using to create my listings, and I had no choice but to use their new seller app. Their new seller app I do not like at all. It is very frustrating to use. I'm brand new at using it. And one of the things that I am noticing that is going on is that people are saying that the kits are kind of hard to find. They're there. They 100% are there. But for whatever reason, they didn't get grouped under kits, the heading of kits. I'm not entirely sure why, because I did select the option to have them link, put in the kits category, but they just didn't. So I just want you guys to know that your frustration, I feel it. The kits are there. You just kind of have to look a little bit harder. The easiest way to get to them, of course, is to follow the links that the team is dropping in the chat. That'll take you directly to them. And I apologize. The new app is just not, it doesn't work like it should. Terry says, I don't like the new Etsy app either. I can't stand it. I don't know why it is that they felt like they needed to change things, but we do the best that we can, with what we've got. Oh, eventually I'll have my own website, but it's going to be a minute. So we're just going to have to deal with Etsy in the meantime. So I apologize, guys, for the frustration. I wish I could make it. I wish I could fix it. All right. We're going to take our eye pin here. We're going to open up the eye on the eye pin, and we're going to thread on our metal bead flower that we just wire wrapped. And we're going to close that back. And then we're going to thread on our lava beads. So I'm going to thread on the light green, the darker green, a crystal spacer, and then the lighter blue and the darker blue, and we're just going to do a wire wrapped loop. Now, somebody was asking, how do you do your essential oils with this? So when you're using your lava beads, because they're very porous, they take essential oils very, very well. And what happens is you put your essential oils on them, and then you can smell them throughout the day on your piece of jewelry, which is really, really nice, particularly for those of us who, might have a little bit of anxiety. So you can put some of your lavender oil on it, or if you get headaches a lot, the peppermint oil is great. But basically all you do with mine, what I like to do is I take like a Q-tip, and I'll just put a few little drops of my essential oils on the Q-tip, and then I just rub it on the outside surface of the lava beads. And that's really all there is to it. You let them dry a little bit. I do find that the oils will last, unless you get them wet, they'll last a few days, maybe 2 or 3 days, and then you can reapply your oils. And the cool thing about the lava beads is that you can apply the oils over and over again, and it doesn't hurt them, which is really cool. But you don't have to, of course. You don't have to. You don't have to add oils to them at all. Lava beads are just cool, and I'm really loving the colored ones. These are really cool. These came from Sam's Bead Shop, in case anyone was curious. We definitely love to show all of the love we can to our friend Sam at Sam's Bead Shop, and Danielle Wicks, who, without the two of them, I would not be able to put together these amazing kits for you guys. So please be sure to give them lots of love and check them both out, right? Both amazing designers, both fantastic people, both know all kinds of things about beady goodness, right? It's good company to keep, that's for sure. All right, so these are the last of our lava beads in today's show. We have the really cool bracelet, and then we have the earrings that come in 2 different colorways here. So those of you who like the cool tones, those of you who like kind of the warmer tones, got a little something for everybody. Definitely cool for summer, right? Love these. All right, I'm going to set these to the side because we're not done, guys. We've still got plenty of things to take a look at today. All right, so I've got another bracelet for you guys that we're going to put together. This one is in a style that we do quite often, and it sells out almost every time we do it. And that is with the button clasp and just simple stringing and a little bit of dangles. But this one has got some beautiful rhodonite. I also have some check glass in this, as well as some, or as well, not as well as some. I don't know where I was going with that. I'm sorry, you guys. It's a stressful day for me. It's a stressful day for me. I've got these really cute little baby check glass melons to go with our check glass leaves that came from our friend Danielle, just like I was mentioning before. Got a couple of bead caps here, and then we've got the beautiful rhodonite, as well as some kind of reconstituted, looks like reconstituted rhodonite. This is not an actual piece of rhodonite, but I can't remember the name of this one, but the rest of this absolutely is rhodonite. I've got some little faceted pieces and some of the chips. All right, so let's put this together really quickly. We are going to start out with some bead stringing wire, and again, just some simple stringing here. So we're going to take the end of our wire, we're going to thread on our crimp and our wire guardian. I will tell you that the rhodonite bracelet, there were not a lot of these. So if you love rhodonite, don't wait on this one, because I didn't have a ton of these in stock to start with. I apologize for that. I was really just kind of trying to use up the rest of the rhodonite that I had, and I didn't have a lot, but I wanted to be sure to get it into the shop because it is usually a crowd favorite. So, all right, we're going to crimp. Turn this to the side, give it a squeeze, and then we're going to come in with our cutter tool and trim off the excess. All right, now we're going to string this up. Now I'm going to show you the way that I'm going to string it up, but please feel free to string this up however you want to, okay? You don't have to do it the way that I do it. I'm going to thread on one of the check glass melons. And then I'm going to thread on my chips. I've got like 3 chunky chip beads. Some of you may have 4, just kind of depending on the size in your kit. I'm threading on my Rhodonite chips and then another melon. Okay, now I'm going to thread on my check glass leaves and I'm going to alternate those. Oops, oh gosh. I didn't lose it. The carpet didn't get it. I saved it. Let's put that melon back on here. I'm going to alternate my check glass leaves with the check glass melons. Okay, so a leaf, a melon, a leaf, a melon, and a leaf. And then we're going to do another melon. Now, you can put your leaves in the middle of your bracelet if you want to. I am all about asymmetrical designs because that's just kind of what I'm drawn to. But the cool thing about this is that it's pretty much an even number of beads. So you can really kind of put this together however you want to. Okay, don't feel like you have to do it in the same pattern, just like everything else. But I'm going to thread on a bead cap. One of the faceted Rhodonite beads. You can see it's got the little facets. Another bead cap. Okay. I'm going to do a melon. 3 of the smaller smooth Rhodonite pieces. Okay. Then I'm going to do another melon. And bead cap, another one of the faceted Rhodonite bead cap. Whoops. Okay, and then I'm going to do the pattern again with the melon, the 3 smaller smooth Rhodonite pieces, and then a melon. Now, what you have left over is one of the smaller Rhodonites and then this larger kind of reconstituted Rhodonite piece, okay? And you've got a charm as well as some jump rings, your piece of leather, and your button for your clasp, okay? But from here, we're going to go ahead and crimp. All right, so we're going to thread on our crimp bead and our wire guardian, and then I'm going to show you how to put the rest of this together. All right, so we're going to take our bead string and wire going back down through and then down through the crimp. We're going to pull. Okay, make sure your wires are not crisscrossing. Put that into your crimper tool, turn sideways, give that a squeeze, and then we're going to come in with our cutter and trim off. All right, now the rest of this is just putting all of this together. So what we're going to do now is we are going to take a jump ring here and we are going to attach our end of our strand to our button. Oh, look, whoops, there's a jump ring already there. We'll save that jump ring for something else. How convenient. How convenient. All right, let's just open this one up and we'll thread it on to our wire guardian on one end. Now that's our clasp, right? But now we've got to attach our other things together here. So we're going to take that jump ring that we just opened. We're going to thread that on to the end and we're going to thread that onto we are going to thread on our large ring here and put all of this back together. I say back together because I had this together last night and now I've taken it back apart. All right, now I've got some dangles to put on-to my large ring here, but I'm going to save that for the very end because we're going to do the leather part of this. So the leather is just very simply sort of like what we did before. It's just an overhanded knot. So we're going to take our leather cord, thread it onto our large ring, find the middle, and tie an overhanded knot. And you want to pull that knot down as close to the ring as you can get it and tighten that down. Okay. Now we want to do another knot over just a little bit, but we want to leave ourselves a little bit of room here so that our button will fit through it. So just kind of measure with your fingers, come over and tie your next knot. And cinch that down. Okay, and then you can come in with your cutter or your scissors and trim off. Okay, and that's how you're going to put your bracelet on. Now listen, if you want to add a little bit of hypo cement to your knots to keep those tight, you absolutely can do that. It doesn't take a lot, just a little bit, but you're just going to slide your button, and that's your clasp for your bracelet. But now it wouldn't be a Sara design if if I didn't put dangles on this, right? So that's what the extra beads were for. So I had one of the smaller smooth rhodonite beads that I put onto a head pin, did a wire wrapped loop. I've got our little charm here. It's double-sided. It's on a jump ring, and we've got this larger bead here. Let's wire wrap it together, and then we will add all of these to our ring here. So we're coming in with our chain nose pliers, bending the wire. All right, we're going up and over, rotate, take the wire over to the other side, and then you're just going to wire wrap in that space. And then you're going to come in with your cutter tool to trim off the excess. And you don't have to use the jump rings. Tuck in your end if you need to. You don't have to use the jump rings. You can thread these directly onto this link or wire wrap them directly on if you want to. But I am going to use jump rings for mine. So I'm going to thread those on and then thread those onto our large ring here. And you can put those in whatever order you want to. Totally up to you. All right. And I'm going to kind of speed through the last couple of kits we've got here because getting close to the mark, that 1 hour mark. It gets here too quickly sometimes, I think. But I do want to be sure that I show you how to put together everything new that's in the shop. So there is our bracelet. That button clasp with the leather, that style, everybody seems to love it. This pink rhodonite is really, really nice. It's not an in-your-face pink. It's just, for me, it's like just the right amount of pink. And I always love it because it reminds me of like vintage Barbie because it always has those beautiful deep blacks and grays that are mixed in with it. So I don't know, rhodonite always gives me a very retro feel, no matter what the design is. This is a very boho kind of design, but it still has that like vintage Barbie thing going on for me, right? Super cool little bracelet to put together. Another great design for spring and summer. All right, so I am going to sit this to the side. I've got another bracelet for you guys, and then I've got 2 quick pairs of earrings. So the next bracelet, this one is a little bit different. It's got a little different feeling. This one is all in antique brass. It's another asymmetrical design, but you absolutely can put this together however you want to. It's got a feather connector here in the center. We've got some really cool connector links for one side. And then I've got beautiful serpentine round beads and some of these really cool green and vitriol crystal drops for the other side of this, right? And then we're going to put all of that together. Okay. It's really pretty. Very, very pretty. Kind of romantic feeling to it. Antique brass always kind of has that romantic feeling to it to me. All right. So let's do this part here, which is just our little beaded chain. You can see I'm alternating the serpentine plain and with bead caps, and I'm linking my crystals directly on there. So let's wire wrap the crystals first. We're going to put those onto head pins and just do wrapped loops on the top of those. We'll do those really quickly. All right. Take the wire over to the other side. And wire wrap. Oops, just be careful because it is one of those crystal beads. You don't want to crack the top of it, so don't push it with your wire wraps, right? 3, if you can only fit 3, don't try to push a 4th one, right? Never want to try to push it. All right, we're going to do one more. So you're going to do, oh, whoops, that was an eye pin, not a head pin. Wasn't even paying attention. You're going to do 4 of the little crystals on head pins. Up and over. So a lot of you guys know, like, one of my very favorite gemstone beads to work with is carnelian. Probably my very close second would be serpentine. It comes in so many different shades. Sometimes you can get it really light. It looks like really light new jade. And almost yellow. And then you can get it in this like deep fern green. And to me, I'm not particular. I like it either way. Doesn't make any difference to me. It's one of my favorite beads to work with. It's such a beautiful color green. It really goes with so many different things. All right. So we are going to put together our little beaded chain here. So I'm going to open up my eye pin and I'm going to thread that on. Actually, you know what? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open this loop that's already here and I'm going to thread on one of my little crystals. And then I'm going to close that back. I'm going to add my eye pin. I'm going to close that back. I'm going to thread on a bead cap, a serpentine, and a bead cap. And we're just going to do a simple loop. So I'm bending the wire right where it is exiting the bead. I'm going to come in, trim off, use my round nose pliers, grab the wire, roll back. And then I'm going to open that right back up with a twist and thread on one of the crystals. And then I'm going to twist to close that back. And then another eye pin. Close that back. And our serpentine bead. Another simple loop. Now you can do wrapped loops if you want, right? It's up to you. Trim off, leave yourself about 1/4 of an inch of wire. Round nose pliers, roll back to close that. And let's attach all of this. So I'm actually going to open up this loop on the end and I'm going to attach it to one of the connector loops on my feather. I didn't open that up quite wide enough. Okay. Twist with your pliers to close that back. Okay, so there's one side of your bracelet, right? And then the other side, we're just going to link with some jump rings. Okay, so jump ring, connector, close. We're doing another jump ring, connector, and close. Jump ring, connector, and then close. And then the rest of this, you've got a series of jump rings so that you can kind of adjust the length of this bracelet. You've got an additional, looks like 5 jump rings. You can put those together however you need. You can take some out. Thank you, Gabrielle. And it doesn't matter which side you want your clasp to go on, right? And there you go. You've got a really pretty antique brass and serpentine with a little bit of sparkle. And again, you can put this together however you want. So if you wanted to put like your serpentine in the middle and kind of space out your connectors, you could even string your crystals instead of putting those onto head pins. If you like this one, you're going to like the earrings. They weren't intended to go together, but they do go together. So let me show you some really pretty antique brass green earrings that I think would go really nicely with this. So these are super easy. We've been doing this style a lot lately. It's really popular. And it's just really a baby bundle of beads at the bottom, right? We're not doing a big major cluster. It's just a little cluster of 3. Now, these crystals are a little bit different, but they're the same color as the crystals in the other bracelet. And it's not a piece of serpentine. It's actually a druck, but it's still in the same color family. It's not exact. It's in the same color family as those serpentine beads. So these do go together. It's a little bit brighter, but not by a whole lot. Again, if they're on your ears, right, and they're separated, there's a little distance in between there. Nobody's going to notice that they're not exactly the same color green. But let's put this together really quickly. So for your crystals, you just want to do simple loops on those. So each one of those is going to go onto a head pin. And then just do a simple loop. So you're very carefully going to take the wire. You're just going to bend it where it is exiting the bead. You're going to come in with your cutter tool, trim off, leaving yourself about 1/4 of an inch of wire, and use those round nose pliers to roll back to close your loops. Okay. You're going to do that with all 3 of those crystals. 6 total, because 3 for each earring, of course. Make sure you get a good closure on those. Okay. Now we're going to make a little dangle out of them. So we're going to take a jump ring, open that up, and thread on one of the crystals, close that back. Okay. Open up a second jump ring, and you're going to thread that onto the jump ring you just closed, and then you're going to put a crystal on either side. Now make sure they each go on different sides. That way they're going to hang evenly, right? You want it to be nice and balanced. Okay, now the next thing to do with this is really just super, super simple. We're going to take an eye pin, open the eye pin. We're going to hook that on to the jump ring that we just put our beads onto, close that back. Okay, and then we're just going to stack on one of these really beautiful decorative metal antique brass beads. We're going to thread on our druck, and then I've got another one of these crystals just in rondelle form right for the top. Okay, and all you're going to do is either a simple loop or a wrapped loop, totally up to you. I'm going to do a wrapped loop on mine, and we're going to add the ear wire, and these will be done. So really simple and pretty. They've got a lot of sparkle to them though, and they go nicely with the bracelet, or they look great all by themselves. So they don't have to be a set if you don't want them to be. All right, so I'm going to come in with my cutter, trim off. They do look very Victorian. I agree. I agree with you, Nancy, for sure. Oh, Cecilia, thank you so, so much. Close that back, and you've got yourself a cute little pair of earrings. I love those. They're very, very pretty. Very pretty. Not over the top. Just a really nice little pair of earrings to make a great gift. This whole set would make an amazing gift to somebody. Maybe just yourself. Right? Love, 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 love. All right, I'm going to set these to the side. We've got one more quick pair of earrings, and then I'm going to let you guys go so that you can get on with the rest of your day, at least until Master Maker comes on at 4 p.m. All right. Now, this is another kind of romantic feeling pair of earrings. Okay. These are really super simple to put together. It's just some wrapped loops. We've got some really beautiful chandelier drops and some more of those roses and rondelles. This time they're in that beautiful blue. There is a little flash of purple to those, but they're mostly just a really beautiful blue color. And all of this is really just pretty straightforward. You're just wire wrapping directly to the drop. I've got 3 beads that are already wire wrapped here. We're going to wire wrap our center in one of the rondelles. So we're going to take our rose and a rondelle, and we're going to start our wrapped loop, and we're going to wire wrap it directly to the drop. Okay, so going up and over, rotate, take the wire over to the other side. Now before you start those wire wraps though, and I do like to open it just slightly, But before you do that, you're going to take the tail end of that wire and you're going to thread it through the little opening on your drop. And then I like to use my bent chain nose pliers to hold on to that loop and wire wrap. All right, and then I'm going to come in with my cutter and trim off the excess. Okay, so that our rose there, I put that one in the center. Now I've got one that's missing, so we're going to add it. This is just the rondelle. So yes, 4 p.m. Eastern time is when Master Maker comes on today. That's over on JTV Extra. And it is an extra special show today because we are streaming live to Bead Fest in Wisconsin. And there will be a live audience in Wisconsin. But even if you can't be at Bead Fest, you can still watch the show and interact as usual in the chat, just like always. But it is a show that is loaded with fun products. So you definitely want to come and check out what I've got in store for you guys today. All right, I'm going to come in with my cutter and trim off. Now that is going to be the way you add all of your beads here to your drop. And then if you want one more little bead, you can add it to the top. Now, that will add extra length. So if you want to leave this little bead out and just put your ear wire on, I totally get it. I totally get it. So you're not going to offend me if you leave this bead out, but I am going to use an eye pin, attach that to the top here. I'm going to thread on a rondelle and then do a wraps loop and add my ear wire. Or you can do a simple loop. Totally up to you. And then that will be it for our show. So many amazing pieces in today's show. I hope that I have inspired you guys. And I appreciate everyone's purchases from my Etsy shop. And again, I do apologize for the confusion with Etsy, the new seller app. I just don't like it. And it is really kind of frustrating. So I can appreciate all your frustration as a buyer. Have my own frustrations as a seller. I don't understand why they felt like they needed to change what was working really well. But you know, we do the best that we can with what we've got, I guess, you know, that's all you can do. All right, I'm going to open up this ear wire and add that to the wrapped loop I just created. And these earrings are done. Super cute. I love these. These are definitely very romantic. Those beautiful drops with the roses. Really, really pretty. All right, you guys. So that is it for our Feel Good Friday show. I'm going to turn you around. Okay. We're going to go right back through all of the really cool kits that we had in today's show before we say our goodbyes. So I'm going to hold these up one at a time. So these were the earrings that we just put together. You can see how beautiful that blue is. It's really pretty from this angle. On the bead mat, I don't think it comes across nearly as pretty as it actually is. I love these. These are just a really cool little cha-cha style earring, right? And then before those, we put together these beautiful greens. Oh, I love that green so much. Those are really beautiful. And they just so happen to match our little asymmetrical designed bracelet with the serpentine and our really cool little connectors. We also put together a rhodonite bracelet with some check glass. Really cool with the button style clasp. That is very, very popular and easy to wear, might I add. Seems to be very easy to put the button and, you know, leather together as opposed to messing with like a lobster clasp. But I think that's why a lot of people really love that style. Then we had our lava bead bracelet in our little rainbow colors and the chain and another button. And then, of course, we had earrings to match that. We had the warm ones in the pinks, purples, and yellows, and then the cool tone ones in the blues and the greens. Again, just really, really pretty. Just simple, right? They don't have to be crazy creative. These are just simple, lovely little earrings that make a nice little set. And last but not least, we had our 2 kits with our metallic lava beads. So these were the earrings that we put together with those shell-coated pearls. And then we had our necklace, which I don't have a bust that's free at the moment. So I'm just going to hold it up for you so that you can see it. This one sold out almost immediately, of course. I knew that it would. Those metallics are just so, so popular and so pretty. So we had another jam-packed show. We went through a lot of pieces of jewelry, guys. I thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for joining me and letting me be a part of your Friday. Thank you to my team for working so hard. And thank you for all of you for being patient with Etsy, as weird as it is being lately. Those of you who can come back, please do come join us at 4 p.m. Eastern time over on JTV Extra for Master Maker. It's a very special show where we are broadcasting directly to Bead Fest in Wisconsin. It's going to be a fun one. So come hang out with us if you can. I've got lots of great products in the show. It's going to be fun. I think a lot of audience participation is coming up. So it'll be a fun one. Don't want to miss that. And then I'll be back with you guys, but it will not be on Tuesday. Normally we do Tuesday live at 1 p.m. Next week, I won't have a live on Tuesday. I'll make a post so that you don't forget, but I will be back with you guys on Friday for our Feel Good Friday show, as always, right? If I don't see you later today over on JTV Extra, I want you to have an amazing rest of your afternoon and an even better weekend, you guys. You deserve it, right? I love you guys so much. I will see you guys soon, okay?